gather round, the curtains rising high. It's real talk time, and we'll tell you why. From old-time flicks to the silver screen, we've got the stories and the in-between. But out of real talk, it's the place to be for movie magic.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Nason, and this is Sander. And we're rocking it. What episode is this? Episode 5?
Episode 5.
Damn, that's crazy.
Already, we're on episode 5, which is, that's pretty nuts. Like that's pretty good. Most people don't even get past one episode. So.
No. And wait till we get to episode 10.
Or I think 8's like that magic number, right?
Well, what's the rule?
I think it's 8, right?
It takes how many weeks to form a habit? 6 weeks? No.
3 weeks.
Is it 3 weeks?
We've already passed it.
3 weeks.
We're already done.
We already have a habit.
We're good. Yeah.
We just like talking.
Top on Spotify. We're getting signed next. Spotify deal coming soon. Watch out, Joe Rogan. We're getting 300 mil. Just so you know, like some of the box office stuff we're going to talk about. Today's just a pretty chill episode. The first episode officially of the new year. Obviously, we're filming this just right before because we have a crazy week. But it's good to be back. There's been a ton of new releases and stuff since we last sat down and talk.
And Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Welcome to 2025. It's the year of making money.
Depending on your star sign. Depending on your, what is it?
Your horoscope?
Your birth year. What is it? The year of like the rat or the snake or like, you know.
What year is it?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
We're going to find out. We'll put it here.
Who's our fact checker?
Oh, yeah. We need Julian to I don't know if he'll fact check.
Well,
he didn't fact check us for anything in that last episode.
Really?
Not a single thing.
Oh, we stumped him.
I asked him today. He's like, nah, I didn't have anything. It was a good episode.
I'm thinking we'll get like a little PNG of his face.
Yeah.
And we'll put it in the corner and then a little speed, like it can dance a little bit. And then a little sticker can pop up that says, actually, guys, this is what you meant. This is what you meant to say.
We'll pre-screen all the episodes.
We'll pre-screen it by him and then he can be like, at time code 2319.
We'll just add those as clips to the YouTube channel afterwards.
Yeah. It just cuts to him watching it and he's going, actually, guys, what you meant is this. Anyways, and then it cuts back to us.
That's great.
I'm sure he'd fact checked us. Yeah.
We can absolutely do that.
We'll do. That's
the crazy amount of editing that will require, but that's okay.
But it'll be good.
All for the socials.
Worth it. We'll hire somebody on Fiverr.
Yes. Both of us are way too busy to do that. I'll still have to film the clip with them, but that's okay.
Set him up. Get him set up on the iPhone. Yeah. Do like a Skype call with him.
No, just after hours at work.
Right.
Yeah, we have like the studio and stuff upstairs.
Yeah.
So it actually, like it's all blacked out. It would actually be very easy to do that.
Oh, that'd be great.
And especially because it would be easy then to cut him in too, because it's all painted black.
You're gonna sit here for an hour and 20 minutes, and we're gonna record. Okay, if there's any facts, you click this button. This button syncs with the system, lets us know, puts a marker.
There's definitely a way to set that up as markers. No, you don't even need to. You just have them press M on the keyboard and then mark it.
We're running it in the timeline.
Yeah, run it in the timeline.
Okay.
Running it in the timeline would be essentially like him just doing a reaction video.
It
would be way easier to do it like that. But yeah, today's just going to be a really chill episode of Real Talk.
Very relaxed.
There's obviously you had a bunch of time because you were away, so you probably saw some movies on the plane.
I did.
So we'll talk about that, and then I've watched like 5 or 6 movies in the last like 4 days, I think. So I've got a stacked list along with seeing Baby Girl in the theater, which I thought it was incredible. We've already done the review and stuff, but I also have some gripes with the people watching the film. But we'll get into that, and then we'll talk about 2024 box office, and then just some movie news and stuff as well. There's been a whole bunch of stuff.
Lots of development.
Obviously, you probably heard about the the delays, like the pretty significant delays in terms of major films, both coming out this coming year and then the following year, with like Batman getting delayed.
Yeah, well, we
which
knew
is
that
just
was going to happen.
I know, and it's such a. We might as well we can just get into that.
We'll go into the episode.
But yeah, welcome to Real Talk, episode 5. So yeah, let's talk about a little bit of movie news first, and then we'll get into like some personal movie stuff. But the Batman release getting delayed another year, so now the second delay, and they've said it's because it's so VFX heavy. Do you think that's the case, or do you think it's...
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense. I'm working on a series right now where VFX has delayed us 6 months.
Wow.
And this is like
just a small series.
Yeah. Like the final runtime is only like 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It's like a micro...
Well, this is... I would assume...
Micro series.
Yeah.
So, and like the VFX on ours is very limited. It's just like... Just our availability of artists and what you're trying to do and taking time on that. So like for Batman especially.
Yeah.
Well, and the villain in this one's Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not hitting luck. Because I always find with VFX, sometimes you hit render and you hope for it.
Yeah. You just go, oh, is that frame going to look right? Like for Craven.
Yeah.
Didn't look right.
Well, because it's like, I mean, it is a science and it is design, but sometimes you are relying on like for ice, for example, you want some natural element.
Yeah.
I'm sure to how it grows. So you're going to do some like fluid dynamics and some freezing dynamics. And because of that, there is some randomness. So you kind of have to like try it out a bunch of times until you're like, that looks right.
Makes sense. Yeah, especially because if they are setting it up the way that they should be or doing it properly, which you're obviously hoping. Because the first one, I felt like the first one was so well done. And there's still so much of that CG, obviously. But you want it to be just as, if not more impactful than the first movie. Especially to continue on the timeline of like where we pick up off the Penguin series and stuff as well. Like obviously there's going to be tie-ins, and I think that'll be well done. Hopefully it's as well done as it needs to be.
It should. Well, you would hope so. I mean, and if they're taking time, like if they're like, you know what, we'll delay it a year. That's usually a good sign.
This is the second year delay because originally it was slated to be the original promised timeline was like this October, and now next October.
Yes.
And now it's October. What did they say? October 17th, I believe. October 18th, 2027. So that feels so, I mean, obviously that feels so far out as we're just in 2025, but that's like.
Yeah. And I mean, there could be other things going on.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a big part of delays too is that studios or producers or whoever have projects that come to the front.
Yeah, like availability and stuff. And that's kind of what I was going to ask.
Exactly.
Do we think that part of the delay for this film is because of Odyssey? Probably. As well, in terms of Robert Pattinson's availability based on the, I believe, confirmation that he's in that film, right? So that's a big part of it. We can make a safe assumption. There's obviously some rumors and stuff, but it seems like
Dafoe is going to be in an Eggers film. I'm sure Pattinson will be in a Nolan film.
Yeah, well, another one, right? So if Nolan's going to continue with the people that he likes, he's going to grab guys from Oppenheimer, from Tenet. He's going to grab the surprise for me from what I saw from the I guess released cast, whatever we want to call it, is Tom Holland and Zendaya. It was so interesting. I honestly, to be completely frank, I wasn't ever expecting to see that crossover.
Like them together in a film.
I wouldn't. No.
In a Nolan film.
In a Nolan. I wasn't expecting to see Tom Holland ever in a Nolan film. It's hard to picture.
You know what though? They've been getting the starlight.
Of course, yeah.
And seeing the range, especially from Zendaya.
I think Zendaya has just maybe one of like the best range. You go from like this amazing MJ to like in Dune, that, and then Challengers, like you have that kind of dynamic. But she, like, you got to think
and
about,
you see her in Euphoria, and
that's
like
so true. You forget about that. Yeah,
I think. Well, this is the thing about directors, right? When you start, especially Nolan, who is working with the best actors in the world.
Yeah.
The more you watch from people, the more you're inspired. And I am sure when he's working through the scripts and he's working through the new ideas for the new films, I'm sure he's like thinking of like, oh, well, this is obviously where I'm going to put Patterson. This is where I'm going to put this person. This is where I'm going to put this person. And then he gets to a role and he's like, it'd be kind of funny and kind of cool is if I put Zendaya and Tom in
together.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, do you think he's going to draw on? Obviously, Odyssey is going to be an absolute epic of a film. I'm shocked that he's getting it done in only a year and a half to like do
we know the budget on that one?
I can't imagine
unlimited.
What it's going to be.
Unlimited.
For Nolan films,
blank check.
They might as well be unlimited, but you also know that you're getting 3 or 4x for sure.
Yeah,
like there's no short of Tenet's box office, which maybe is the only flop that he's ever had, really. Like, I can't think of another, like, I don't even want to call it a flop because I thought the movie was actually very good. I remember that was kind of when we had reconnected because they wanted people doing trailers for that film, like recreating the trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
With, yeah, and there was also like the funny thing is there was a Travis Scott song that came out at the time that was in relation to the movie.
Yeah,
which was like, what are the odds of that? But speaking of music for Odyssey is going to be Ludwig doing the I can't pronounce his last name, but he did Inception, right? I believe.
Yeah, Ludwig Jorgensen.
But he did. Let's fact check.
He did Black Panther, like the new one. I think Wakanda Forever.
Ludwig Goransson.
I think it's Jorgensen.
Jorgensen?
I think that because
like Jorgensen?
Yeah.
Wow, he's done so much. He did Tenet. That's funny.
Yeah, he did Tenet. He did Wakanda Forever, right?
He did both Black Panthers.
Yeah.
He did Creed 1 and 2.
Yes.
Wow. And he did Oppenheimer. Okay. This is legit.
Yeah, I remember leaving Wakanda Forever and being so inspired by Con La Brisa, I think is the name of the song. And he composed that. And that one was like...
The first Black Panther film, that score is very, very good.
He's magical.
Yeah.
He's magical.
But part of Black Panther 2, he did, or Black Panther, one of them, he did with Kendrick as well. Because Kendrick did that entire album. Like, it was also a Kendrick album at the same time. I think just Ludwig produced it, I believe. I could be, he's actually done a ton of incredible. He's only 40. Wow.
Good for him.
He's going to be doing this forever. That's very impressive. His first film that he did was 2009. So he's been doing this. Wow, he's been doing this like since he was our age, which that's amazing. Like that, but at that level is so incredible. I'm trying to I just want to put some names out there. Do you remember the movie Top 5? Mm-hmm. He did Top 5. He did We're the Millers. That's a great film. That's a funny, good film. He did 30 Minutes or Less.
Okay. Yeah.
He did, I haven't seen Death Wish. He did Central Intelligence.
Okay.
He did Venom, the first one.
Which is great, yeah.
He did Turning Red, the Pixar film?
Yeah.
He did that. He did Creed 1 and 2, which were incredible. Those, remember we did the Gymshark spec ad stuff with those? Those were his scores.
Oh, yeah.
But there's like all the features and stuff with like all the rap but he did all of that.
Just a cool dude.
And then Black Panther 1 and 2, Tenet, Oppenheimer, and then the new film that's also, as we'll talk about delays and stuff, is Sinners as well. So obviously Michael B. Jordan loves working with him because Michael B. Jordan's now done, this will be 5 films with him, which is pretty amazing. So I'm shocked he didn't do Creed 3. Drama.
Yeah, probably.
Drama.
Probably.
But yeah. I was trying to think of who did like the soundtrack for Interstellar and stuff, but it was somebody else. I'm blank. It was Hans Zimmer. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Hans Zimmer does
I guess Hans Zimmer and Nolan have gone. Whoop.
I guess so.
Because Hans Zimmer got pulled to Dune.
Oh, did he?
I think he did Dune. Yeah.
Did he do all the Dune? We're gonna find out.
I think he got pulled to Dune, and then
That would make sense.
that was why he took over. Ludwig did Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
Because
which we
Hans
saw
Zimmer
that.
wasn't available.
It was, yeah. Dune 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And he's already guaranteed the third as well.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
So they waved at
Which
each other and
means-
they went, "I love you, buddy, but."
You do these,
Arrivederci.
I'll take this other younger guy, basically.
Yeah.
I'll take your younger version. Well, because
younger protege.
Hans is 67, so
Yeah.
that, I mean,
I remember watching an interview with him, and he was talking about how he doesn't know how many more scores he has left in him.
I think I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if he finishes it with, like, Dune Messiah, that would be pretty incredible.
That would be
right?
crazy.
He's got maybe the craziest...
And he won't get voided from the Oscars on the third one.
How did that happen with was it this one or
it
the
was just that
first one?
It was the second one because did he win an Oscar for the first one?
He must have.
And then the second one was considered, they used too much source material from the first one.
Right.
So that it couldn't be technically considered a whole new set score.
There was another movie that just happened to, like recently that just came out. Oh, Moana.
Moana 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was Moana, but also there's been a few films this year, not just adaptations and not even sequels, that were disqualified from nomination because they used too much of something. And I'm like, it's too bad because it's still.
I get it though, because like if
Can
you
see
already
both sides of
won,
it.
if you already won and you already did an amazing job, and then you're using a lot more. Like I can't remember what the percent number is, but it's like a good chunker.
Okay.
And like I get it. It sucks because like Dune 2 is a fabulous score.
Yeah.
Especially the new material is really great. But I also do get it. Like if you make a really good painting.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of awards for the painting. Mm-hmm. If you make kind of the same painting, but you just like
change a few things,
make the sun in the other corner, and then like add a cloud.
Yeah,
I get people being like,
it's not really different.
It's still amazing.
Yeah,
but
you already did that.
You already did that.
Yeah,
right. You already used that. Yeah. So I get it, but it is also when you're doing amazing work, it's kind of like. Well, it's still amazing. You can't knock that it's not amazing, but
Hans Zimmer has done some absolutely ridiculous
He's a champion.
movies. Like, okay, so Mission Impossible 2, Megamind, Madagascar 3, Angels and Demons, Shark Tale, True Romance, Crimson Tide, Boss Baby, Rango, The Thin Red Line, Rain Man, the whole Madagascar, all of the Kung Fu Pandas, Sherlock Holmes, so the one with Robert Downey Jr., Batman vs. Superman, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, all the Madagascars, Black Hawk Down.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I was thinking, you said Amazing Spider-Man, and then I was like, oh, Spider-Man 2? He took that from Elfman? From Danny Elfman? I was like, damn, man.
James Bond, No Time to Die. So the most recent one. Yeah. Blade Runner 2049, Pirates of the Caribbean. All of the Pirates of the Caribbean, it looks like.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, all the Dark Knight films. The two Dark Knight films and the Batman Begins. Dunkirk.
Yep.
Man of Steel. He did Top Gun Maverick. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Da Vinci Code, Last Samurai, Pearl Harbor, Prince of Egypt, and The Holiday, funny enough. Dune 1 and 2, Inception, the original Lion King.
Champion.
Which might be his best of all time. That's incredible. And then he did the new Lion King as well, which I find is
the new one, the live action.
Yeah, the new.
Crazy.
So 30 years later, did another Lion King, which is kind of fun.
Revisit that.
Gladiator, the original one.
Yep.
Interstellar, obviously. So maybe the craziest lineup of film scores.
He's
ever.
a monster.
Like just it's got to be. So he has won 2 Oscars, 4 Grammys, and been nominated for 3 Emmys and a Tony. Wow, that's
wicked. So much work. And
so
all
much
really,
incredible
really
work.
incredible work. That's the big thing.
He was doing live concerts and stuff, and I wanted to go see it, and the tickets were just a little bit too expensive.
No, I remember everybody going wild for that.
But we were, it was also, we had just got back. Oh, you know what it was as well? We had just got back from our trip, and it was like a week after we had a wedding. And I was like, do we go to the wedding or we don't go see Hans Zimmer live at Scotiabank?
Easy choice.
Easy choice. Don't go to the wedding.
Yeah,
go to see Hans Zimmer. Never go to the wedding. It wasn't worth it. No, I'm kidding. That's what a lineup. That's nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But as we were talking about the kind of delays and stuff as well, before we get into sidetracking with scores, obviously there's some big news and stuff in terms of movies that are coming out, but some of the movies that have been swapped in terms of release and pushed back is Mickey 17 got pushed back again.
Oh wow!
For the 5th time.
How long did that one get pushed back?
Just like I think it was another month or so. I think it got swapped with Sinners. But Sinners also got pushed back. So that looks.
Sinners is which one?
The one with Michael B. Jordan. It's like the brother. Yeah. Looks so good.
It does look
so good. I'm very excited to see that. I absolutely want to go see that. Like the day it comes out, we'll have to do. Hopefully we get a chance to go. Like that would be nuts if we get a chance to go and maybe do an interview. Well, Michael B. Jordan interview. Everybody watch out for that. We're going to speak that into existence. So we're going to interview the director and we're going to interview Michael B. Jordan. That's what's happening when that comes out. I think in May. So
we can make it happen.
I think it's reasonable. So that, and then Mickey 17's obviously that got pushed back too. There's so many good films and stuff that are coming out. Obviously, what am I thinking? Superman. That's going to be ridiculously good. That's going to do that. I was going to say that's going to do the best in the box office, but I think if we're looking at what has been announced already, Wicked 2 is probably going to be your number 1 box office for 2025. I feel like I can say that pretty confidently based on how the first one is doing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No? You think it might be something you think Superman? No. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning might actually do better.
I don't know about that one either.
But that's always like $1 billion box office.
It's
got to be up there.
I'd put Wicked 2 over Mission Impossible for sure. But I wonder
if it's the final film though.
I know it's hard. Yeah, I don't know.
But the last one did. I feel like Dead Reckoning did very well.
I remember walking away from Dead Reckoning being dissatisfied.
Julian said the exact same thing today. He's like, I fell asleep in the hotel scene.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Yeah, no, I remember being
It's
really,
got a
really disappointed with
96
that.
on Rotten Tomatoes. You guys,
96%?
you both gotta be quiet.
No, that's wild.
I love
remember
the
being
film.
put off by it.
I love the film.
I wonder why.
Wow.
Just like I got a hot take on Zone of Interest, but we'll talk about that in a second when we talk about stuff I watched on the plane.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to see it, so you can hot take it all you want.
Okay, I'll hot take it.
Yeah. Wow. The last one actually only did 570. I'm surprised.
And for how much? 200?
291. Jeez.
Yeah. See, I
Like the other ones have done better.
what did it do for audience score?
I just said 96.
It was not a 96 is audience score. That's not a critic score.
Let me double check. That's 94 audience score.
That's wild. I wonder. I don't remember specifically why I didn't enjoy it, but I do remember leaving the theater feeling like
It was long. It was 2
Maybe it
hours
was-
and 45 minutes.
maybe it was long, and I felt that it could have been way shorter.
I thought that was my only gripe with it. I thought it could have been trimmed. Because especially lining up, knowing there's a second film already, they've already done it. Like they had already done, I think, half of it by the time this one was released. It didn't need to be quite that long.
Yeah, and on top of that, adding to trimming things shorter,
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon, Scorsese, I'm looking at you.
That could have been way shorter.
And it would have been so good if it was way shorter.
It was an incredible. Did you watch that on the plane?
Killers of the Flower Moon? No, I went to the premiere for that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was I got, what was that? An
A TIFF?
Apple TV release?
Oh, cool. Oh,
yeah, no, it was a private
right.
screening. Yeah.
Right.
No, it was good. It was good.
I
It
wanted
was
to
very
see
hot.
What?
Because the theater was packed and there was no AC, and I remember being so toasty. And I went with my buddy.
What theater?
And it was Scotiabank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was a
Why do
private
they have
screening.
AC?
It was good. What?
What's the issue with the AC?
Oh, I don't know.
We need to
It was
talk
just
about
so hot.
Cineplex. Get it together. Fix Scotiabank. I know it's old, but you can.
Yeah, I actually don't know why it was so. I just remember like leaving, being like, "Wow, I'm so sweaty." And what killed me with Killers of the Flower Moon. Spoiler alert. So just skip like
it's been
30
out for a
seconds
little
ahead.
bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe people didn't watch it, but
Yeah.
the way that it is, you have so much amazing character drama all throughout the film.
Yeah.
And then the last little bit, Scorsese comes out and tells you the entire rest of the story.
Versus just
trimming it a bit and letting us live the character drama.
we're setting up another one.
No, just keep it as one. Keep it as one.
Just keep the drama. Just cut it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part about like those kind of movies that it should have been done better in that way, because with the thriller aspect and the animosity you build in those characters, sometimes cutting it is like the best way to do it.
Yep.
Because you're left questioning and wondering. You know what's a really good example of that I finally got a chance to watch is No Country for Old Men.
Okay, let's hear it. I love that film.
It's incredible. I literally just watched it today.
Yeah.
I watched it today. It was amazing. I'm amazed by how impactful that movie. Like, I am blown away. It has cracked my top 10 for best movie of
Deakins
all
goes
time.
crazy.
It's insane. Like Javier Bardez, is that Javier?
Bardem?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Is like, you generally, like, I watch it and go, he's genuinely a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Milk.
so crazy. The milk. The table with the milk, like, they just come in a little bit too late. They're like, oh, what is it? It's still like there's condensation on the milk. Like, we just missed them, basically. But that's also, again, that's a film. Like, there is an ending to the film, but you're still left wondering what's going on, because obviously he's still on the loose. He's injured, but he's on the loose.
I heard they were going to make another one.
Yeah?
but I don't think that's
I don't think
true.
they need to. It was leave it as it is.
Leave it as it is. That's okay. It's okay to leave it as it is.
It was so good. I was blown away. The characters, and you know what? Actually, you know what's so interesting? As I started to watch, I was like, there's not even a ton of dialogue. It's just the way that it's shot and the impact of the psychoness is so deeply driven home that it's like
palpable.
It's palpable. It's riveting. And I'm sitting there, I'm like gripping my seat watching this thing. And it's great. Like, it is just the right amount of action, thriller, and a little bit of like it's just the killing's horrendous. Like the what is it? The cow air gun that he essentially puts together. That he's I'm just gonna call it that because I'm trying to think of exactly what the name of it would be. But like the air pistol essentially that he puts together to just like rip through people. Really. But yeah, I was blown away by how good it was. Yeah. But how long has it been since you've watched it?
Probably a year.
Yeah.
I think about a year, maybe a bit longer than a year. It doesn't feel like I watched it too long ago, but it's at the point where I'm like trying to remember dialogue points that I really like, and I can't really remember the dialogue point. Like I know the scene.
Yeah.
Like the guy talking in the convenience store.
Yeah.
With the store owner. He's like, how's the weather up there? And he's like, what does the weather have anything to do with you? Something
Why do you care about where I'm from?
Yeah. Like that kind of stuff. And I'm like trying to remember the dialogue points, and I can't remember exactly how it comes together. But honestly, but still impactful, still great.
I think that scene is such a pivotal point in the movie because you really get an understanding of how much of a psychopath he is.
How wacko this guy is.
And you just stand there and you go, there's nothing there. Like you watch him and the way that he interacts with the store owner and how terrifying he is standing above him. He might physically not even be taller, but he is so imposing. It's terrifying.
There was something about that scene, and it just came to my mind, and I wish I could remember this conversation I had. I have a friend of mine who's a cinematographer who loves that film because he loves Deakins and the way that he shot it and captured it. And that scene, he was telling me a little tidbit about the music. Yeah. Oh, no. It was in general. No Country for Old Men only has score for like a minute.
Yeah, there's no music.
No music. And it's only there for like a minute. Yeah, a minute 45 seconds. Something crazy.
That's a really good point. Like I feel like I remember hearing it briefly and going, oh,
that's weird.
Oh, I
haven't heard music yet. Yeah.
That's such a, that makes a lot of sense because I don't, like it's so fresh in my mind, but I don't remember hearing any music. It's so, because of all films.
I remember hearing that and going like, no. And then I watched it again and went,
but it's almost more impactful. And that makes it more sinister because it's just hard dialogue, but also it allows the sounds of the movie just to be that more impactful with the shotgun, with the running away. Yeah, like that noise is now so distinct and you hear that like air gun noise. It was such an incredible film. And
I remember I watched that and then I went on, I got stuck down a rabbit, not stuck, but I went down a rabbit hole of character pieces.
Yeah.
So after that I watched There Will Be Blood.
Okay.
Have you seen There Will Be Blood?
I have not, no.
It's very much along the same lines as that.
Okay.
In terms of like just a very intense character.
Yeah.
Who essentially, not as psycho, but it's a whole other side of that that same intensity and insanity that came with all the movies being released at that time. There Will Be Blood. I recently watched Zone of Interest. That was the one I watched on the plane.
Okay.
And Zone of Interest is I wouldn't even say I have a hot take about it. I really, really enjoyed the film. I feel like I missed a couple things because I was watching it on a plane, and there was a couple moments that...
Which is so hard, too. Like,
it really
hard
is.
to focus on a movie you haven't watched before.
Yeah, and it's like I have really nice noise-canceling headphones that take most of the ambience of the aircraft away, so I can focus on the film. But I still felt like, because there was so many subtle nuances in that film, I felt like I missed a bunch of tiny little pieces
On a tiny screen.
Yeah, like I was watching it on my iPad, so I still had like some depth and some concept. So it was good, but it wasn't there, and I knew that I missed some parts.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's like I can see why Steven Spielberg really liked it.
Yeah.
I believe his comment for the film was, "This is one of the best Holocaust films since my films."
Fair.
So
that's a pretty bold statement. But if anybody's gonna say it, it's gonna be him, right?
Spielberg can say that, and it was very interesting because you're experiencing life through the eyes of this regular German family, who the father of the family is the commander for Auschwitz, and gets moved on to be the deputy inspector for all the concentration camps. So he's running all the commanders.
Oh, interesting.
And you're just watching this guy go about his business, and they're ordering, I believed in the film, probably like 800,000 people to death.
Oh my!
And then you hear, and it's crazy because the family will be like they're having spinach strudels and apple strudels, and they're all having fun, and you'll hear in the background, "Okay, get him, and it's like this, like it was beautiful in a horrible way, like it was beautifully horrific, and it was such a well done film. My only thing with that was at the end they do a jump to modern day. So they show Auschwitz in modern day, and they show the museum getting prepped and ready.
Yeah.
And this is where I felt I missed something, because it felt strange to me to jump from where we were at in the story to modern day and wrap up the film in that sense.
Yeah.
And I get that they were making a comment on the impact of it.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, oh, I wanted you guys to wrap up the story that I was experiencing with this family. Yeah. Like, is it just, they just continue on being normal?
Yeah.
Like, is that the whole point of it? And I mean, it was the point, just committing all these. I'm having the realization as we're chatting, because I was thinking about this. So we come back with our main character, which is the father, the commander, or the deputy inspector at this point. And we come back to him initiating this plan to have 700,000 Jewish people taken. I can't remember where they captured. 20% allocated to labor, then the rest of them put to death. Yeah. And I mean, the whole point of where we picked up is that they initiate, everybody's like, haha, good job, wonderful. Yeah. We're all happy. This is in the German high command. And then you go to him and he's having gut issues or whatever, and he kind of throws up a bit. And I think it's one of those moments where they wanted to pair him throwing up at the realization of what he's doing with the fact that they executed on that and did that and completed that mission. And it was kind of like this, like, it was beautifully horrific. And I can see why it's getting so much praise that it did. My whole thing was I didn't really like jumping so wildly to modern day when they could have left it in the moment and really stayed with the character. But I respect it. I respect the choice. Okay. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. No, I'll definitely. I have to put it on my Letterboxd watch list.
And then I started watching Triangle of Sadness, which won a Palme d'Or at Cannes.
Have not. I need to watch that.
Watch this. Yeah. So I didn't watch the whole thing. Okay. Because I got maybe 40 minutes into it just as they get on the yacht.
So did you only watch 1.5 films on the way there and back total? What were you doing?
I slept. Well, the way there, I slept, and then I watched. What did I watch? I watched Van Helsing. That's what I watched. The classic. What's his face? Wolverine. Hugh Jackman.
Oh, okay.
The classic Hugh Jackman Van Helsing. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. Another.
I was feeling vampire because Nosferatu is out, and I've heard a bunch of amazing things about that. So I was feeling like watching a classic vampire film that I remember, which was Van Helsing. And Dracula in that is such like the Hollywood. There's an interview with Robert Eggers talking about how there's this Hollywood vampire world
Yes.
That is, Dracula's in a suit. Then he's like, my brides, my lovers,
Yeah.
come to me, come
Very
to me.
proper.
And he's very suave, very proper. He's like all elegant, good looking, handsome. Meanwhile, Robert Eggers is like, if you look at any of the stories about people who actually believed in vampires and thought vampires were real, the stories they tell, it's like a rotting corpse. That's horrible.
But that's the difference between Dracula and Nosferatu is like the Nosferatu is like more of a rat figure in terms of like the nails and the
his name's Count Orku, something like that. So do you know his background?
I know the story of like what happened as to how it was made, essentially, because it's like it was forbidden, like the copies. It was made as essentially a knockoff of Dracula back in the day, right? And then it was banned and it was abolished essentially because it was like copyright at the time.
Oh, I don't know this. Yeah.
Essentially, so that's how that got made. Like that secondary character from Dracula got made.
Interesting. No, I didn't know this. The story that I was looking at, or I was going to say, is that Count. Can you look up what Nosferatu's actual name is? Count Orko.
Oh my god, I'm gonna butcher that. Nosferatu. Oh jeez. Count. Oh no, it just says Count Dracula.
Whatever, the Count. We'll call him the Count.
Yeah.
The Count in Nosferatu,
Count
was actually...
Orlok.
Orlok, that's it. Okay, Orlok. So Count Orlok, he is actually... The reason he becomes Dracula is that he was a dark witch warlock.
Okay.
So he was dabbling in dark magic and satanic magic, and he actually ended up summoning one of Satan's lieutenants.
Yeah.
And he cursed Count Orlok to bring death and despair wherever he went and fear. Mm-hmm. And so this is what turned him into this walking corpse, this monster that he is, who has to feed on human flesh. And I've heard that this movie is like insane because there's like chest biting. So he actually goes for the heart instead of like the typical Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, my neck.
And that was like all part of it is, well, because they used all those rats and stuff too. They used like 4,000 rats for that. Which is insane that they used real rat. Like, eesh. I'm okay. But this is kind of like, this is the biggest difference. So it's like Dracula is handsome and charming, a seducer of women. He's the origin of the sexy vampire. Whereas Orlok is a hideous monster. And while he is very much a seducer of women in this retelling of Nosferatu, it is never sexy. Orlok is grotesque and monstrous at every turn, a towering husk. And I think that's a really good... But from what I've heard of like the backstory of how it was like morphed was like back, it was like 1912 or something like that, when the original Dracula came out, like the film, and the story was adapted into like a Count Orlok film. But the part of the adaptation was like it became this iconic character as a result of it being banished, essentially, like being told it was a copyright to burn every copy of like the original film, and that's what happened. That's why, like, if you look up Count Orlok, the old photos and stuff are like the early days of like, that's as black and white as.
Oh yeah. I know the classics.
But yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like I'm very excited to see that film when it does come out. Or it's not when it comes out. We gotta go see that film. I definitely have to go see Nosferatu.
Yeah, I wanted to
It's
see it
doing
when
so well in the box office already. It's at what is this at right now? It's where are we at? $21.1 million in the opening, and is already worldwide at 43.3.
What would they make it for?
I can't be much. Yeah, even on Letterboxd already, it's a 3.9, which is very impressive. Rotten Tomatoes is at 87. Wow, $50 million budget.
So they're pretty much there. And we're only a week in.
Ridiculously good. Yeah,
Great. Good for him.
Yeah. It's Lily Rose Depp looks incredible in it. Bill Skarsgård is
As
always terrifying.
As always, Defoe.
Yeah, Defoe looks.
Defoe, and then what's the other guy? Nick something? Nick.
Nicholas Hoult.
Yep.
And then also you have Aaron Taylor Johnson in it, which is so random, but whatever.
Hey, stretching those legs.
So yeah, Rotten Tomatoes 87, IMDb 7.8 so far, 84 on Google. And this is all based on the 1830s in Transylvania. So
Transylvania.
I
want to
go see it. I don't know. Maybe I'll convince Allie to go see it with me. I don't know. I don't know if she would. I don't even know if she would like it. I don't know if she'll appreciate it in the same way that I want to watch it. But
I was ready to go get off the plane and just go right to the theater, but that didn't work. Yeah, that didn't work.
That got shut down. Uber wouldn't take you to the Cineplex.
No, I was like, no.
I'm more tired than I thought I was. Let's just go home.
Yeah. Too much traveling.
I watched so many films this last week, so I just Did you have any other films that you saw?
I watched Home Alone again.
Okay. The first or second one?
First one. First one
with the White Bandits?
Yeah. It was great. You know what? I forgot how much I liked that. And then live action Grinch that got played.
Okay.
So I watched that. That was good. I'm trying to think what else I watched.
Anything else since we did our last episode?
I watched Dune 1 and 2 again because that just happened to be on and I watched it.
Yeah. Classic.
Great. I'm trying to think what else I watched. I was watching. You know what I was watching? I watched 28 Days Later.
Oh yeah, the
I
first
watched.
one.
Yeah, because that recently got re-released on streaming. Because everybody was
that.
like, "Oh my god, I gotta see this."
Yeah.
So I watched 28 Days Later.
It's
then
good
I watched,
that they did that because it's like, okay, you might as well. You know that you have a new film coming out. And you're like, okay, let's build the anticipation. And you know who also did that really well the last little bit was A Quiet Place. Like when they had those new films coming out, like Day One that just came out this year, that was good because they pushed them back out to like the streaming platforms. And
Yes.
stuff. That's how it should be. Like
people can get reinterested.
Yeah. You want. I think that's how it ends up doing so much better in the box office because people go, okay, that's something to look forward to. Yeah.
28 Days Later, what a crazy film. Like the cinematography and everything is so grounded and wild. Like it's just like a really messed up zombie movie.
And at the time, it was they were the first people to have zombies walk and run ever. They had never, like there was never.
What? They didn't have World War Z zombies?
Those were insane. Those might be some of the craziest zombies that we've seen.
Yeah.
Like The Walking Dead did a very good job, but like those zombies are nuts. Like
I think
very impressive.
One of my favorite memes is like when it's the zombie apocalypse and you see like a guy with like a sword and everything and he's like, yeah, when you realize it's the World War Z zombie apocalypse and he goes, ugh.
Oh, I gotta get sick. Somebody give me COVID.
quick. I did that, and then I watched highlights from 28 Weeks Later.
Oh, okay.
And after watching those, watching the first one, watching the highlights from the second one, and then watching the trailer again for 28 Years Later, I'm very intrigued. I think it'll be a really, really compelling film.
Yeah. You think it'll be like a good continuation of the...
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so. I think that's a very popular one. Yeah.
Should be.
It should
we'll
be.
See.
It should be. A lot of people are excited.
Yeah.
A lot of people are excited for that.
That's good. Hopefully it lives up, and that would be great. But yeah, we so I guess I didn't have any movies kind of early in the week after we had done our episode, but I went and saw Baby Girl.
Yep.
Which was pretty ridiculous in the theaters. We went and saw it VIP, which was great, except for the fact that everybody was talking like they were watching it at home. And it pissed
I
me
noticed
off.
this in VIP.
It pissed me off, but it wasn't just the fact that it was VIP because you had to watch it at like. It was nicer because the Cineplex VIP experience is very nice. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we sat, you order food and stuff to your seat. It's very nice. I like it, but it was more of the way that the film was done. It's just because of the film. It's less of the fact that we're in VIP because we've gone to VIP. Like, I try to go VIP with Allie most of the time, so she's as comfortable as possible and can enjoy it because we enjoy it. Like, it's nice. You can cozy up. It's a cool experience. And Landmark does a good job with that as well. And Imagine Cinemas does that. It's cheaper, but it's every now and then I have the Cineplex passes, so it's easy to do. But I think it was just the content of the film being so sexual. It made people uncomfortable almost. Like you would hear people laughing, but like not just like almost uncomfortable laughing at there weren't even like that many, like it's not really there's no sex scenes. It's just very sensual and
intense,
like
sexually tense scenes.
Very,
people feel very uncomfortable.
And like you see the dynamics. And I'll go into why I absolutely love this. I think they did. It was a masterpiece of art. Like they did such a good job with the film. And A24 has just destroyed 2024. Like I don't think you could ever have a crazier year of like productions. You go from that, and then you have The Brutalist, which should win every single award. But besides that, it was it was the experience of the fact that people were laughing at it. It was mostly older couples. It was mostly people in their 50s and 60s watching that film. And as I said to Allie, a lot of it is the obvious reason. Like the husbands are not going to see that film because Nicole Kidman looks incredible. It's because the wives want to see that film for their own fantasy. Mm-hmm. And then as a result, it creates this like weird tension between the couple that they have to like laugh about during the movie. And that's what we were sitting experiencing. Like we weren't laughing, like we're totally content watching the film. And we were like, this is very good. And I'm just watching because I'm like, the score is amazing. The cinematography is so good. The colors are incredible. Like all of this awesome stuff. And I'm like, I can't wait to talk about it. And then you hear people and you go like, clearly they don't understand like either the dynamic of what you expected from this film or like you're just not comfortable enough to watch this. And so it was so interesting because I was like, it ruined it a bit. So I'm like, I hear people talking, I want to listen because half of the scenes there's whispering. So like there's whispering. That's the point. That's like the seduction of the film is the whispering. And that's what makes it like so tense and so erotic is that whisper, right? That's what it's always about. And so you miss some of those things and it pissed me off. But needless to say, the movie was, I had like a 4.5 out of 5. Or a 9 out of 10.
Damn.
It was very, very good.
I'm excited to watch it.
You look weird going by yourself. No, okay.
I'll bring the notebook and a pen. And people will be like, oh, it must be a movie critic.
But it was very good. I loved one of my favorite parts, obviously aside from the beautiful cinematography. Like they did such a good job. Was the way that the color palettes transitioned based on both where they were in the story and also how the power dynamic had continued to evolve.
Oh, very interesting.
Between Harris Dickinson's character and Nicole Kidman's character, and then when it transitions between Nicole Kidman's character and her husband. And I was like, whoa. And you can see it, and there's different, like, the elevator scenes and the office scenes, and then when it starts getting, like, more risky and more intense, it's very good. And I was very impressed. So obviously, not everybody can go see it. If you're under 18, you can't go see this film. You won't be let in. It's an ATA film, and absolutely, rightfully so. See Nicole Kidman naked. She looks great for 57. She does. I think part of it was she looked even a little bit more plasticky than she does in real life, which when I saw the trailer, I was like, I didn't immediately like, but the movie actually adds context to it. So I appreciate it.
I was about to say, there must be context to that.
There was a point to her. Like, they literally showed her getting Botox in the film.
I saw it in the trailer.
So I was like, of course, that makes sense. And the clip that I posted on our TikTok, that's the one that's like blowing up. If you haven't seen, like, there's a little sneak preview. There's some sneak previews on our TikTok. So go and check that out. And our reviews on TikTok and Instagram.
You're kind of, as you're talking about this, you're kind of reminding me of my experience watching X, I think the film's called, with Jenna Ortega.
Ooh, I haven't
It's about it's about like a group of people who go to rent a back property of a farm with like a strange couple and shoot a porno because it's in the 80s. I want to say it's called X. I remember watching that and like it was good. Yeah, like there was nothing wrong. It was kind of wacky though because it goes from shooting a porno to hacker slasher crazy person.
Is that the one where is it based like in current time or is it based?
It's like the 80s, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was seeing a clip of her like in a car singing Juice WRLD, and I was like, maybe that was the movie it was from.
Oh, so I remember that scene. No, but yeah, this is. I didn't really have much. I think it's got to be called X.
I have to. But it was good or it was kind of weird.
I mean, like, it was good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Like, I was so
wouldn't recommend it. Is it called? Oh, I was gonna say is it called Miller's Girl, but that was it. It is called X.
Yeah.
It's what called X. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the context though. It was kind of like I was at a friend's house and they just put it on. They're like, "Oh, you got to watch this." It was crazy when we watched it, and they sat there and watched it with me, and it was like so much sex.
Unnecessarily.
Which of course, no, because it was all pointed.
Yeah,
and it was kind of interesting. It was like. It was funny because they had seen the film before, but they were still getting awkward about it.
That's when you understand people don't like know how to communicate that properly. You're way too taboo about this.
But it was good. It was a good film.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's 1979. A group of young filmmakers set out to make an adult film in rural Texas. But when the reclusive elderly host catch them in the act, the cast find themselves fighting for their lives. That's kind of,
fun.
Horror mystery
Allie would like that.
Maybe, yeah. We'll see. It's on Netflix, so I'll have to...
Go check it out.
So kind of along the same lines, I finally got a chance to watch Anora.
Okay.
Which, if you haven't watched it, you're already past it, but it was in the non-negotiables for making sure you watched in 2024. It's such a toss up because it's like I already said, and I need to get a chance to actually watch it. I mean, everybody's talking about how incredible The Brutalist was, but I also think that like it could go shot for shot with Anora in terms of every single aspect of the Oscars this year. Like it just was so good. Like so good. I think the biggest impact was the fact that Mikey Madison in like the entire film is obviously centered around her. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of other very good acting, like exceptionally good acting, in Tauros, in Igor, in Vanya, but there is a scene in the middle of the movie that's about 15 minutes of uncut film, basically. Like it's a continuous scene. Mm-hmm. There's no stop. There's no transition to anything else. Like they probably did 15 takes and put them together, but it's one. Like
it's a winner.
It's a winner. It was what drove home the fact that she should win Best Actress. It was so incredible. And from that scene forward, you feel her impact in that movie so dramatically that like she controls everything. Like at the beginning, you're setting it up beautifully for like how the story's going to go and the impact and the implications of what they've done and all of this stuff. You have to go see the film. Like I don't even want to spoil it because it's that good.
I'll go watch it, no problem.
But yeah, absolutely, it was it was incredible. If after watching some of the other films and stuff that are still coming out this year, it could easily be one or two in terms of all the stuff that's come out. Doesn't matter, whatever you got to do.
Oh, yeah.
You absolutely have to watch it.
I'll go on a crazy binge. I'll catch it in theaters as it's slipping out.
Yeah.
Unless it's already out.
No, it's gone.
It's been out
for it's been out for a while.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But you can get it on streaming. You can pay for it on streaming platforms and stuff. Absolutely worth the watch, the buy, the rent, whatever it is. I hope it comes to a platform at some point. I don't
100% will. I'm sure.
Yeah, based on the fact that it's going to be nominated so many times, you hope that it comes. But it was amazing. I was so blown away, and Neon had some incredible films this year. Well, Neon had two main films this year, which I am halfway done. As we're talking about movies and stuff, watching halfway done Long Legs, and
Daddy, Mommy,
this film is amazing so far. I won't even get like a full review on it just yet, but
Nick Cage being Nick Cage,
it's so good, so good so far. It's so good. It's an incredibly good like thriller, horror, whatever you want to call it, but it's very good.
When I watched the trailer for Long Legs, I didn't realize Nick Cage was who Nick Cage was.
Yeah. You don't see the resemblance. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's right there.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Have you watched the film?
No. It's
oh
funny.
My God.
That was the one I was debating between watching Zone of Interest, Long Legs, and Triangle of Sadness. Oh. And so I watched Zone of Interest because I watched Zone of Interest, and then I was like, do I want to watch Long Legs or do I want to watch Triangle of Sadness? And then I was like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for Nick Cage doing Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And I was in the middle of the flight, so I was like, I'll watch Triangle of Sadness, and then
fair enough.
But it is there; it is ready to watch.
Yeah, well, it was incredible. Obviously, like it was so good. I'm excited I'm halfway done, so I'm excited to finish it off. But the story is so good so far, like so impactful. So I'm very impressed. What else did I watch recently? I've watched Red 1. So I watched Red 1. That was good. And I texted you. I was like, it kind of saying exactly what you said to go into it with was just an open mind in terms of what could be.
Yep.
And it was fun. It was actually just a fun movie. And
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm impressed. It was better than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, it was good. I like the ELF. I like the toy stores. I like that. It wasn't actually what I expected it to be. The toy store thing when you were talking about it, it was actually better than I thought.
You know that Hot Wheels car that they use?
Yeah.
Hot Wheels never made that. They never made the C7 Corvette.
Because that's like very recent car.
Yeah,
too.
they've never made a Hot Wheels version of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I happened to dive down Hot Wheels Gram, which I didn't know there was such a market for Hot Wheels. People are turning.
It's
People
insane.
are making tons of money on
Hot Wheels.
Crazy.
Oh, it's huge. If you can find something that other people, there's always a market for stuff, right?
What'd you think of Krampenschlappen?
I liked it. It was good. It was funny. I was like, this feels like a Creed character, but basically could be. But it was very good. It was very. My only gripe with it was the underdevelopment of the witch.
She was the weakest character. Yeah,
I know, and I
agree.
just like, I felt like there was so much opportunity. It would have been 10 times better of a full film if they developed her properly and gave her some like context. Because we didn't even like see her until the very end, right? Mm-hmm. You saw like this polished version.
Right,
I want to
she's a
see.
shapeshifter.
I want to see her with Krampus back in the day ripping up villages. I wanted to see that. Because he told that story, and I was like, "Oh,
what a woman!"
But you didn't even like. There was no transition to it either. I was like, you could have done a fun backstory here, and you didn't. But the budget was already screwed, so you're like, we can't do any more CG here.
Well, that was even like, that was my thing. It was that, and then it was also like the big plot device, the big evil plan.
Yeah,
was these globes that trap the naughty listers.
Yeah,
and
was also a bit flat too.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh, so you could just be like, you know what? I'm actually going to be a good person. And then boom, you're free of this. And it's like, I get what they were doing, but it was kind of like, oh, it's this horrible trapping thing.
Yeah.
You'll never get out of it. Oh, but I believe I can. And then they got out of it.
Which is the funny part about the heartfelt moment at the very end.
That I was like, oh, okay.
You kind of saw it coming, but also... Yeah, I think it shouldn't have been able to be that easy, obviously, but it kind of had to be in order to have that heartfelt moment. Otherwise, the two don't work. Mm-hmm. But there was no development of like the globes, and I think she could have been the backstory. It would have been cool if they just cut to that backstory. I think that's like the one thing they just really missed was like. That would have been fun to see. Like you would have almost laughed at like their story of like them just terrorizing kids. Because you're like, that's what you used to do. Back in the glory days. But then you would have had Santa or Saint Nick saying like, hey, cut it out, cut her. Basically.
And then Krampus comes in.
But then you get like the proper banishment so you understand how he gets where he is. But you didn't have any of that. It was just kind of like left up to interpretation. And I think that part of it was the fact that it's like, okay, how much more movie do we want to add? And how much budget do we have? But I felt like that's really just where it went flat. The other stuff was fun. Felt good. I think the ending was like, it was good.
It was a fun film.
Yeah.
I agree with you on all your points. I mean, I found that The Witch was kind of flat too, but I was just like, meh.
Yeah.
Meh, whatever. It was a fun film. I'm okay with it.
Film. What else have I seen film-wise recently? I had, I want to go see a few other in, I watched It Ends With Us as well. I was crying at the end. I cried at the end of the film.
Who's the main actress in that?
It's, it's all the drama right now. It's Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Yes.
Oh my God, what is her name? Oh no, that's so bad. What is her name?
Blake Lively.
Yeah, Blake Lively. As I'm looking it up right now.
Lively.
There's so much drama with that movie right now with like the sexual assault case and stuff. Mm-hmm. Which the interesting thing is, I think that's actually part of the reason that the movie's getting thrashed right now in terms of ratings. Mm-hmm. There's been a ton of new ratings on the film, and I think it's as a result of the drama, because it's like she's suing him and then now he's launching a countersuit against the whole thing, and like
Wow.
it's not really our place to talk about it, but yeah, I thought the movie was like very impactful and very moving. Like I wouldn't normally cry in a film like that, but it was very touching, very, very touching. And I think it was very, very well done.
Talking to a couple of people who read the books and then watched the film,
Yeah.
they said that the film didn't impact them as much as the books did.
Which is what I thought would happen, which is always so difficult.
Do you read the books or no?
No, Allie started reading it, but she, I think she.
But this also depends on the person too,
Yeah.
right? Like I feel like is Allie a more movie than book?
No, she's
Oh,
not
okay.
really either. But she's not movie. She's not really movie, but yeah, she likes a good read.
Yeah, because this girl that I was talking to about it, she's very much more of a reader than a movie watcher.
Yeah.
Or at least enjoys the insights that a character has within a book.
Yeah,
So
you
the
just
inner
have
dialogue.
so much depth. Right?
Yeah, that you don't have during the film.
You only have to just interpret the depth in terms of how the film was done. I did.
But you liked it.
I thought it was so moving.
Rating out of 5?
Oh, 4.5.
4.5
for
Oh,
sure.
Okay, damn.
Like
Did you cry at the end? You said you cried at the end?
and I thought the music was fantastic. The cinematography was very well done. I love the way that they shot it. I love the background scenes, like just the throwback scenes and stuff. In terms of how the timeline was shaped, and again, I think that it's such a moving piece in terms of like the subject matter. I also think it's something important to note. It's like not everybody can watch this film, especially if you have like trauma and stuff. If you've dealt with that, I actually think it would be hard for people to watch.
That makes sense.
Jeez. But I thought it was very, very good. So yeah, that kind of wraps up my films and stuff that I've seen. But anything that you're like absolutely pumped to see that you haven't?
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Nosferatu and The Brutalist. Nosferatu, The Brutalist, Anora, and Triangle of Sadness. Got to finish that. So those are the big ones that I'm looking to get done this week. Oh, Long Legs too. Yeah.
You have a couple days before New Year's, but you guys are seeing this after New Year's. But you got to watch
I'll
them
get
if
it
you
all
haven't watched them.
done. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Oh, you know what? Also, we got to go see is two other films. Is Better Man when it comes out, which is the Robbie Williams thing, but they did it as him as a monkey, which I think looks so cool. Have you seen you saw the trailer?
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's a cool concept though.
Yeah, and it was the reason they did him as a monkey is because
He wanted to do it because he's like, I never thought I was a normal person.
that, and because people don't care about a human.
Yeah.
That was the hot take that I was hearing in an interview. People don't care about humans, but they care about animals that are experiencing hardships.
Especially like as a child.
Yeah.
But he said he wanted to do it like that because he's like, he thought he was so out there. Like it's interesting because additionally, internationally, that film will do extremely well when it's officially released in box office. That's not even out yet, technically. There's been limited releases in Toronto, LA, and New York, I believe. I think that's it. When that film comes out in the UK, that is going to do ridiculous numbers.
I'm sure it will.
Because Robbie Williams was a very big, he was huge. He did performances and stuff in front of hundreds of thousands of people, like Glassboro, like huge festivals, like completely sold out. And they show that in the film. But he didn't have the same impact in North America. Like he didn't transition the same way into like the North American music scene, but he was huge in Europe, massive in Europe. So I once we get box office numbers and stuff, probably at the end of January, let's say,
Yeah.
we should revisit because I want to see how skewed that box office number is. Because I feel like it's going to be 3 or 4 times as big
In Europe.
in just the international box office, specifically in like Great Britain.
Okay.
I think it'll be like twice or 3 times as big as in North America.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And it's just because everybody in the UK knows who he is. Like everybody will go out and watch that just to see like the impact that he had, because he would perform in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Like people are going to go watch it. So that's a good one. And then The Complete Unknown as well.
Yes.
Yeah, which also looks very good. Like Timothée Chalamet, his interviews and stuff, he did a 55-minute interview with Nardwuar.
Oh yeah, and that was where I saw that. I saw the
all
clip.
the memes and stuff is
Where and he was also like, he thought Nardwuar was buying all of the albums
all the
or something
albums.
like
He's
that.
like, I guess I'll do it. I guess dude did pretty well. It's like, buddy, you don't need the help. You don't need the help. The Complete Unknown, another movie that people are saying looks really good.
Yeah, I've heard that's really good.
There's like so many movies that literally came out last week that we haven't had a chance to see yet.
Crazy.
I just want to sit in the cinema and watch like a full day of movies. Do like a 4-day, just go to Cineplex and sit down for 4 movies.
Yo, Cineplex, hook it up.
Hook it up.
Private
Let's go.
theater.
We're gonna reach out. We're gonna reach out for a Saturday screening. Yeah, it was nuts. It's so good. Yeah, I guess that's everything that's kind of we've seen coming out. I got to finish Longlegs. Mm-hmm. Watch Triangle of Sadness. I think that'll be good. Something I also want to, before we get into box office and stuff for this year, I think if we look at it, I don't even know if this is like, it's not impartial, but I think the production, it's called, I guess, production house? What do we want to call it? What's A24? Distribution company?
Distribution company, production company.
Do we want to say with a lot of confidence that A24 had the best year out of all production houses?
I think they,
Like if we go through the list of some of these films.
for box office.
No.
Are we talking about monetary? I think
Not
A24,
monetary.
I think A24 positioned themselves most effectively coming out of the
In a
strikes.
creative way.
Yeah, but
They had-
A24 has been doing it right since
Yeah.
with the projects that they've been selecting, and they've been building that
Yeah.
infamy.
Yeah.
I mean, infamy is not the right word, but they've built that repertoire to take risks and to enable creatives, and that's why they were working through the strike, and that's because they understand the creative side of things and they want to empower that. And I think they've positioned themselves most positively as a distributor, as a production company working within the film scene to really, really push forward. Because at the end of the day, they stand for creatives and they say, hey, do your weird film.
Yeah.
If you think it's a weird film and, we'll give our 2 cents here and our 2 cents there that we think is going to make it overall more compelling. But at the end of the day, we're just going to put our eggs in baskets that we think are challenging the norm. And I think that's really, really important in the cinema scene and has resulted in a lot of positive for A24.
Yeah. Like they did Civil War.
Yeah.
They did Maxine, which people liked. They did Sing Sing,
Yep.
which I've seen a lot of
Everybody,
big actors saying they love that film. Heretic.
Yep.
They had maybe the craziest
Heretic.
ending to the
Heretic.
to the year. Like the 5 movies that they put out at the end of the year are what's putting them in that position. Like maybe the most is Heretic, which I got to see still. I've heard
I have to see that. Yeah, I heard it was
Very, very
I heard it was really good.
Queer. Because I've also heard is amazing.
With Daniel Craig.
Yep.
Yep. heard it's great.
Y2K,
Yep.
The Brutalist,
Yep.
and Baby Girl.
Crazy.
Those 5 films to end your year, to close out 2024, maybe the craziest final run of 2024.
Fucking
Like, that's not those 5 films. Those 5 films are in the top 10 for most people for the year.
A24, doing it right.
Like, that's ridiculous. They've got upcoming. Yeah, they've got some good upcomings and stuff as well. It's just like, wow. Yeah, they have a bunch of TBA stuff. They're doing something with Spike Lee. Yeah, A24 is doing.
They got the clout.
They're doing
Good
it
for
right.
them.
And Neon is on their heels though, just a little bit. They're not doing a ton of films.
But Neon's always been selective.
Neon's being selected. Well, they've only been around since 2017. I found that out today, which I think is crazy. Like, good for them already in
they're rocking
8
it.
years to do.
Yeah.
Like, and in 2024 to have 2 unbelievably good films, to have Long Legs and Anora. Like, come on.
And Neon did Triangle of Sadness.
Did they?
I think so, yeah, in 2022.
Wow. Yeah.
And they won the Palme d'Or. Good for them.
They're killing it with the Palme d'Or. Like, you're getting high honors and stuff. You're getting those Palme d'Ors, so good on them. But we might as well kind of finish this off with the 2024 box office domination. Some of the films.
How many we got on the list?
Well, this is all of them. So it was crazy as well because I saw Letterboxd put out the number for the films this year. Do you want to hazard a guess of how many films? Like every single film that was released.
It was released?
How many?
186.
186? No. Like all the films.
Every film.
Yeah.
Indie, everything.
Anything
Everything.
that got
Oh,
released
God, I don't
this
know.
year. Think of like the craziest number you can think for a production year.
500.
No.
More? 1,000?
No, not even close.
Okay, hit me with it. What
It
is
was
it?
way more than I thought it was.
What was it?
43,000.
Films.
film
Everything.
for 2024.
That's insane.
I didn't know there were that many films. I had no idea. Like not major releases, obviously. Like there was probably 400 major releases. Like 2024 was a very, very big year. Like every Friday you had 3 to 4 films, I would think. Not 3 to 4, but like at least, yeah, it might be like 2 to 3 every single Friday.
Yeah,
I feel like we had
around 186.
a lot of really big
I was
releases.
thinking all the popular ones. Damn.
We're going
Filmmakers
to every
crazy.
single one next year. We're going to every one.
43,000.
43. It was like
I
43,700.
don't think you got enough time
That's
in a
insane.
year. Just put it on here.
Just
Put it on the
just watch
screen.
all
Yeah,
the-
just like load
watch
it
all
up
the films.
and be like, whoa, what's that down at the bottom of the list? Whoa, I didn't know that was getting released. I guess I'll see it in 6 months watching it straight.
So yeah, that sounds insane.
That's crazy.
That's insane. That's every film, like every short.
Yeah, that
film,
makes sense.
Everything.
Oh, short films included in that. That
Everything.
makes sense then. Okay.
So yeah, it's still nuts. Like that's
Insane.
still pretty insane. So worldwide 2024 was a pretty ridiculous year for film. So it's awesome to be a part of it. We love doing that, and that's why we're going to continue rocking with this. Some honorable mentions that I don't think I was surprised were this high was like number 13. We have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, did 397 million. Bad Boys Ride or Die did 404 million.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Twisters did 370 million. It Ends With Us, as we were talking about, did 350 million. Alien Romulus did 350 as well.
Nice.
And then we kind of get into 11 in, essentially. So Gladiator 2
At 11.
at 11
Copy.
did 435. Still in the theaters, so that number could possibly change in the next couple days. It's the 30th today, so you got a day to to add to it.
Add how much?
Probably
What's number 10?
2 million. 3 million.
Okay.
So Beetlejuice was number 10.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
No.
No, I haven't had a chance to watch it.
No, but I heard it was satisfying.
Yeah. I heard the music was pretty good.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I saw a lot of videos and stuff. 451, just
Nice.
past 450. And then number 9, we have Venom: The Last Dance.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah,
It's just because they showed that horse turning into a venom horse
there you go.
in the trailer.
476 was the total. Most of it was foreign. 70% foreign sales.
That makes sense.
Which I don't know. Sometimes I find that so surprising. It's like the foreign is so high.
I think North America is
The movie is
they're over superhero movies.
yeah.
They're also a hard sell on films, whereas the international market is usually a little bit more accepting.
Some of them are flipped. Like there's one obvious one that I think you'll figure out that is flipped.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, it's interesting to look at these. Like some of these are very recent. Like two of the ones one at 4, one at 6 are in the last month.
That's crazy.
Like release wise.
Insane.
And they're already up there as the highest grossing for the year, which says enough. So number 8, Kung Fu Panda 4, which I forgot came out.
yeah,
I totally
me too.
forgot came out, but I remember seeing clips of like Jack Black on the red carpet and stuff.
And the Dragon Warrior is it's me.
Those are very good films.
Yeah, it was good.
They always did a very good job with those films. 547.
Okay.
So very, very good. Good return. And then we get into the fun 7, Godzilla versus Kong,
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
which I'm still a bit surprised by, honestly.
There was some that film was good. I mean, there were some weird moments where like
It's just the
CG team took their liberties, but that's okay.
And again, most of that internationally. So 65% of that was international. But internationally, that has a huge audience, especially with Godzilla -1 coming out as well, which is too bad is not here, but that was just a digital release, basically.
Yeah.
Number
I saw it in
6.
theaters. I saw it in the theater.
What, got -1? Oh, I didn't get
There was limited screening.
Yeah. Number 6 is Wicked,
Okay.
635.
Damn.
Most of that was domestic,
Of course.
which is what I expected. It's like the only one that's mostly domestic. Anywhere in the top 20, actually. And then number 5, we've got Dune 2.
Okay.
Dune Part 2, 714.
Nice.
Unreal. A huge, huge market there. Number 4, we've got Moana 2.
Anticipated. Yep.
883.
Damn.
4x the budget.
Good for them.
And then another one that I forgot about. Number 3. One that I forgot about is number 3. Despicable Me 4. Which has a cult following.
Yeah, it was good.
They're fun films. Like Steve Carell is so good.
So good.
I gotta watch it.
This is the one where he gets relocated.
Yeah.
Witness
Like the
protection.
witness protection thing.
That
is
was
so
good.
funny.
It was good.
I saw so many clips and stuff, and I never got a chance to sit down and watch it. I gotta watch it. I think it's probably on Disney Plus though.
Yeah.
Yeah, 969. That franchise has made so much money.
Kids love Despicable Me.
It's such a good film. It's such a good film.
Pharrell Williams goes crazy on the scores.
Oh my. He comes in
Who's
and
despicable?
creates absolute masterpieces. And then we have 1 and 2, which we have talked about one of them and we haven't talked about the other, which again, forgot about it because it got so huge and then I felt like dropped off. Was number 2. What do you think it is?
Inside Out. That's number 1.
No. Inside Out's number 1, yeah. What's number 2, though? That's what I mean. Like,
couldn't even
forgot that
guess.
the movie come out.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. again, feels like that movie came out so long ago, right?
Yeah, that's always when I'm doing like the year-end review. I always go, "Whoa, right? That did come out this year."
Like, as we were talking about Monkey Man earlier in the year, like, oh my god, that came out. Yeah.
Well, that's because but I think that's just like a
just
general
happens.
time thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, whoa, the year went by so fast. But then when you actually look back on the year and you're like, whoa, that was in February.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was this huge project I did in February, and I was reviewing all the projects that I'd done this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that was only in February. That felt like it was a lifetime ago.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah. What the hell?
So Deadpool Wolverine did 1.338 billion. Wow.
With a B.
Pretty dead even in terms of split between domestic and foreign, which is very impressive.
Nice.
And then Inside Out 2 did 1.68.
Crazy.
1.698 billion.
Mostly domestic or mostly?
Mostly domestic?
Yeah.
Sorry, no, mostly foreign.
Okay,
Mostly
okay.
foreign.
Yeah.
61% foreign, so over $1 billion in foreign. Just in foreign alone did over $1 billion. So,
Well, see, Inside Out is smart. Inside Out 2. I don't know if there's any moments of an Inside Out 2, but I know in Inside Out 1, if I remember correctly. I was telling Sandra this before the podcast started. They're Pixar, right?
Yep.
Pixar is smart because they doctor the film just a little bit to local audiences. So, for example, North American kids hate, it's either broccoli or Brussels sprouts. I think it was broccoli. But Asian kids like broccoli or Brussels sprouts, and like it's not seen of as like a bad thing for kids, but they hate green peppers. So they just swapped a little bit, and I think it's the scene's a kid eating them and going, I don't want it, right? And just doing small things like that to cater to local audiences is the difference between making 700 million and 1.6 billion, right?
Yeah.
Because it's that much more relatable, it's that much more enjoyable. And I mean, really at that stage, you're just getting, you get your initial audience in the theater. Yeah. And then you get everybody else who like, they walk out and go, wow, that movie was fucking awesome. And then everybody's like, oh, well, I have to go see that. Yeah. So if you don't have that, you're not going to get that billion with a B.
Fair enough. Some notable mentions that again, like as the year goes on, you kind of forget about them. But one of the ones that again, very recent film is Sonic. Is at 20. Oh. Sonic's at 22 already.
Don't look back. Dun, 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 dun. I have to watch that now.
I know, me
fun.
too.
It looks fun.
210 million already.
Okay. And how long ago did it come out?
2 weeks ago.
That's crazy.
No. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. When this episode comes out, it'll be 2 weeks.
Jim Carrey.
That's nuts. Well, Jim Carrey, Keanu Reeves, and Idris Elba.
Yeah, because
Idris Elba as well.
Keanu Reeves.
3 huge
Idris
actors.
Elba is what, Knuckles?
Yeah.
And then Keanu Reeves is Shadow.
He did it with the gloves on. Have you seen the clip of Idris doing it with the gloves on?
No, I haven't seen Idris's clip, but I saw Keanu's clip, and he was talking about how he had to make the voice distinct from Sonic and Knuckles. So he couldn't go as deep as Knuckles because Knuckles is the really gruff one. And then Sonic has that like cheery voice. So he went for like this mid-tone voice for Shadow. Yeah. And I saw that clip and I was like, I got to go watch this. And of course, Jim Carrey dancing.
Yeah. I saw those clips. Pretty incredible. So it's there's other movies and stuff like you forget about. Like Longlegs did well. Longlegs did 126.
Do you know the budget on that one?
It can't be. I feel like it can't be that crazy. Longlegs. I don't even see it. Budget. Under 10 million. Oh my god!
Great. Well, this is the thing with
Neon absolutely killed that. Wow.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Was it? Wait,
it's the highest grossing indie horror film ever.
Longlegs.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Not even close. That was when it hit 50 million. They were saying that. So it's at 127 since July.
Daddy.
So it's been out for 6 months. Incredible. I'm so excited to finish it.
Crazy.
Other notable mentions that we shit on, Madam Web did 100 million. Argyle did 96. Challengers did 96. Terrifier 3, 88 million.
Go Terrifier.
Let's go.
Terrifier.
The Substance, 77 million. The First Omen.
Yeah.
53 million. Conclave's at 53 million. Oh,
I gotta see Conclave.
another one that I've got on my watch list right now.
I saw the.
The trailer looked incredible.
I saw the trailer like on the way to the airport or something, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is a film that I should have downloaded because it looks genuinely compelling as a character piece."
What else? A movie that is not out yet in Canada or the U.S., but is out only in Great Britain right now. Paddington in Peru.
Paddington in Peru
has already been released in the UK. I mean, it's a UK film. Like Paddington is a treasure of the. I think Paddington's actually knighted, technically.
Yes.
I believe so, right?
I think that's right.
He's been knighted.
I think that's definitely right.
But for it being only released there, they're at 48 million already. So that gets released. That doesn't get released for another 2 months in Canada and the US.
Oh, wow.
So I'm excited to see what that does here, box office. Nosferatu is at 43 million on this list.
Nice.
What else? That's an interesting one. The Interstellar 2024 re-release.
Oh, yeah?
Is on the list at 35 million.
I know a lot of people who went to that. A lot of people
wanted to go see it.
Easy money.
I know.
Just cash in their pocket.
Monkey Man made 35.
Nice. And they made that for pretty cheap.
Yeah, that was under 10 million as well. That's the crazy part. Anora, as one of the best films of the year, only did 30 million.
It's a risk. I mean, the hard thing with a film that's a different story, different talent, is just getting the audience there, because you're not catering to a huge demographic, and people have a really hard time taking risks.
I'm disappointed that this didn't happen in Canada. The Dark Knight also got re-released.
Oh.
Only in Australia.
Wow.
Only in Australia.
I hope Nolan's getting a good paycheck.
29 million for the re-release. I would go pay and see that again in IMAX.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, take my money now. I will be at the drop for those tickets. This one makes more sense because I hated the movie. Juror 2, 20 million. I didn't like the film. So many people have said it's such a good film. It wasn't good. Some of the other ones. Oh, remember we were talking about Homestead? Mm-hmm. Homestead did 12 million in the box office.
So we got none of the Kevin Costner film, Horizon.
I don't.
Ooh, and he spent a lot of money on that.
Horizon. Let's search for it. Horizon Saga. No, it did 29.
Yikes.
No, worldwide 38.
Yeah, but he made it for like 100 something.
Oh my god, I can't imagine what.
Yikes.
For. Yeah, it was not good. Not good. It did the best domestically. It's. I don't. Let me double check. I know we looked at this before. It was like, box office 38. Yeah, budget was 100.
That's okay.
Yeah,
you win some, you lose some.
Hopefully they don't do any more. How many chapters did you say they were going to do?
I think they were doing 3 or 4, yeah. It's supposed to be an epic.
That's going to be rough. Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense, but yeah. Well, that's pretty much it. In terms of movies and stuff for the year, there's still a ton of movies to finish off watching.
Yep.
And
not much time left to do it.
Into the new year, watching movies. If you start Avengers Endgame at 9:34 and 35 seconds Tony Stark will snap his fingers as soon as the clock strikes midnight. So make sure you do that. Make sure that's how you're going into your new year. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You got
That's great. No,
anything else?
yeah, it was a great chat.
Beautiful. Well, we're closing out 2024, but you guys are entering 2025 now. So enjoy your new year. Hope you guys enjoyed your New Year's. Stay safe, stay happy.
Yep.
Stay listening to the Real Talk podcast. From myself,
Absolutely.
Nason. From myself, Nason. From myself, Xander.
And Nason, of course.
Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on socials, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Have a good one, guys. Pleasure.
From Chaplin's Grin to a blockbuster scene, Talk's got it all.